Hello, everyone, and welcome to session number 4 on Vedic psychology and human resource development. In previous session, I have introduced to you what Vedic psychology is all about, what are the sources of Vedic psychology, and on the application of Vedic psychology in the field of human resource development or HRD. So we are going to continue our discussion on the application, the practical application, organizational application of the concept of Atman in the Vedic psychology. So if you are able to recall from my previous videos, you will definitely know what is Atman, how Atman is different from body, mind, intelligence, and also ego. Okay, so Atman is considered to the core of every living being. Atman, or whatever that you call in English language, whether it is the self, the real self, or the soul, is present in the heart of every living being. Therefore, leaders in the organization, leadership in the organization, or leaders who have a very high level of self-awareness and self-realization, who are aware of their real self or Atman within them, will be able to exhibit qualities of leadership like authenticity, wisdom, compassion, and they will also be less driven by ego, but more on their purpose. So leadership means to achieve a particular goal, outcome based on the organizational direction or the purpose, based on the vision, mission of the organization. So it is a very important concept that we have learned so far. Okay, and for leaders, the concept of Atman or realization of their Atman will also enable them to go beyond that ego driven culture in the organization to more eco driven culture. So must go beyond that ego-driven culture. Ego, as I have said, is known as Ahankara. And it creates attachment, too much attachment to the role. I want to keep my role. Okay, I want to grow. I want this power. I want this title. I want this achievement. And many times, this ego-driven culture or ego of the leader may lead to conflict. Not only conflict, it may also lead to competition, dissatisfaction. But when one realizes that all this conflict, competition, if you go through the real nature of human being, the real self, that is the Atman, it actually transcends that ego. Okay, all these are not something that is called permanent. In the Vedic psychology, you have something that is called non-permanent and permanent. Non-permanent, it is called asat, whereas permanent is sat. So a leader will be able to distinguish between what is sat and what is asat. Okay, what is permanent and what is non-permanent, and he will be focusing on what is permanent, what is real, not what is unreal. The Upanishad teaches us to go from unreal to real. I'm sure students of Vedanta or Vedic psychology will know that there is this mantra called Asatoma Satgamaya, from unreal leaders to real. And then Tamashoma Jyotirgamaya, from darkness lead us to the light. Okay, Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya, from death to immortality. Okay, this is a very popular prayer, the Vedantic prayer. So you need to realize what is real and what is unreal. So if you are looking at the organization, if you are focusing on how this can be applied in the field of human resource development, the leaders, the HR in the organization, they can focus on leadership development from their real self rather than the ego driven. And leadership program need to integrate a lot of integration of the concept of self-awareness. I have mentioned self-awareness is the core area in emotional intelligence. Okay, and then you can also look at the ethical decision making, communication, empathetic communication, to cultivate leaders who inspire people, who drive people, who transform people. So the leaders, HR, anyone who takes a leadership position can promote well-being, not only physical but more emotional and spiritual need, emotional, mental, and spiritual needs of employees. Then you can also look into areas such as meditation, mindfulness, self-care practices. A lot of this information you can find and driven in the Vedic tradition. So when I say Vedic tradition, you remember what I say, what are the sources of Vedic psychology, what Vedic psychology is all about. It's a Vedic tradition. We are looking into the four Vedas. The four Vedas are the Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharvana Veda, the Upanishads, the Idihasas, also the Puranas. And knowledge that you gain from these literatures will be able to help the leader to transform their employee, to manage stress, to find inner peace. In a Vedic context, when we say peace, inner peace, it means shanti. Shanti means peace. And stay grounded in our true self. Consistently, you need to have that awareness. You are the real self. You are the Atman, not the body. Body is temporary, asat. The Atman is sat, the real. And this holistic approach will enable the leaders, organization, and people to be more balanced, more resilient, and fulfilled in their work. Okay, and as I said, it's very, very important to develop this particular culture, encourage this type of culture where you help the employee as growth and reduce that ego-driven behavior. Ego-driven behavior needs to be reduced. And improve collaboration, collaborative work environment, and you can even apply it in your performance management system, in your reward management system, which at the end of the day, what we want, the purpose is to enhance the satisfaction at workplace, job satisfaction, employee commitment, okay, and also organizational profitability, productivity, organizational effectiveness, and collective well-being, not only the members of the organizations, the shareholders, but all the other stakeholders in the organization, they must be happy and to contribute value to themselves as well as to the organization. All right, that is on the session number 4 on Vedic psychology and the relevance of Vedic psychology in the field of human resource development. We will meet in next session, that is session number 5. Thank you, everyone.